Hey, it's Ethan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the RockyMounts MonoRail Hitch Bike Rack and how it fits on our 2023 Tesla Model Y. The MonoRail is a two-bike platform-style bike rack capable of supporting two bikes up to 60 pounds. It holds onto our bikes primarily with this wheel hook here in the front and one additional strap down here in the back. So if you want to use this with your carbon frame bikes, you can. You maybe just have a really nice paint job and you want to avoid that frame contact. For either case, you can do that. If you have an alternative frame style bike, you'll avoid that as well. And it's weighted or rated for the weight of your heavy e-bikes, so you can use those too. First feature that we're going to show off is the fact that it can tilt away with the bikes loaded up. And I really like where the handle is located to tilt it away because it's in the front. And if I have another bike loaded up, I can just pull that anyway. And it tilts pretty aggressively. So we have tons of room to get into the hatch of our vehicle. Tons of clearance from the pedal and the handlebars. And I can sit down here if I want to change my shoes before or after the ride. And now would be a great time to get anything out of the back I might need once I get there or when I'm done. To tilt it back up, just make sure you use the rack instead of your bike. You'll hear it click into place. And it holds very securely, and we can get our bike removed. Now, RockyMounts does a good job of color coordinating all their touch points, so the first thing we're going to use is this blue button here to release our back strap. And then we'll come up, hold on to the frame of our bike, and we can press this blue button here to release our wheel hook, push that up and out of the way, and now we can get our bike off. Put this off to the side. And then we can talk a little bit more about the features of the tray and the types of bikes that we can work with. So I'll get this center mast out of the way, and we can look at this front cradle first. As it comes, it is able to support a tire width of up to 5 inches. You can see it does have a couple different grooves to accommodate a couple different tire widths, and it stores down in that position when not in use to make things a little bit more compact. This back cradle does have the ability to pivot as well to accommodate some different wheelbases. If we want to, we can get a couple measurements now just to see how much distance we're adding onto the back of our vehicle. The first one we'll get is that distance added. So I'll measure from the bumper to the furthest point back. In this case, it's going to be about 31 inches. So it does add a good amount of length to the back of the vehicle in this position. As far as ground clearance goes, from the ground to that blue handle, it's going to be about 20 and a half inches from the ground. It's a pretty nice rise in the shank, so I'm not going to be super worried about ground clearance and bottoming out. If we want to, though, we can save a little bit of that space using that same handle we used to tilt it away. We can fold the rack up. Again, it will click into place, and now we can get a couple new measurements. From where you are, you can probably see that it does sit a little bit close, as do most racks to this car. This closest point in the middle being about 2 inches, and probably about the same down here at the bottom as well. As far as how much space we've saved overall, from the bumper to the furthest point now, it's going to be about 11 inches, so it does get really compact, and it folds up really nice. Now we'll take a look at what this rack covers up on the back of the car. So it does sit a little bit taller than some of the other ones. Our license plate right here is going to be pretty heavily obstructed. Our backup camera is right here in the middle. That's going to be really blocked as well, but the Tesla has a nice camera system that's going to be able to work around that better than a lot of other cars. Even though it sits a little bit tall, it's still not going to interfere with our taillights or our rear window. Before we come all the way down to the shank, I'll just point out this post here. The rack does come with a cable lock. It's not integrated, but it's included, and you can secure that right there. But the shank is a 2-inch shank that fits into our 2-inch receiver tube. It's held in place by a 3/4 inch anti-rattle bolt, as well as a lock that's going to be key-to-like to that cable lock we just mentioned. So it's kind of a pain to get it in just because we don't have a ton of room to ratchet that anti-rattle bolt, but it pays off because you can't really shake the rack at all. It's in there very, very securely. So overall, the RockyMounts MonoRail is probably my favorite value option. A great way to get two bikes up to 60 pounds where you need them to go. That 5-inch tire width right off the bat is really nice. It tilts away super aggressively, and it handles really easy to access. It's just really easy to work with overall. So as far as my favorite choice for a 2-bike option, this is probably my favorite. You can get a 3rd bike add-on too if you want that. This again was just a really quick look at the RockyMounts MonoRail and how it fits on our 2023 Tesla Model Y.